Hey everyone, sorry for the little handout, trust me, I hate doing this. But if you love the bold and real stories I share, I'd love your support. Join True Gay Stories as a Love and Pride member for $9.09 a month and unlock exclusive perks, early access, bonus stories, shout-outs, and more. Your support helps keep these stories alive. No pressure, just gratitude. Thank you for being here. Now enjoy today's stories. Please check out the links in the description. Grab something from my links to support the channel. Appreciate you all. The air crackled with unspoken tension, a humid summer night mirroring the storm brewing inside me. It wasn't just the heat, it was him. His name, whispered in the back corridors of my mind, echoed with a forbidden thrill. Even now, years later, the memory of that summer, that feeling, still sends shivers down my spine. It started, as so many things do, with a chance encounter, a fleeting glance across a crowded room. He was everything I wasn't: confident, charismatic, a whirlwind of energy that drew everyone in. I, on the other hand, was quiet, reserved, a shadow lurking on the periphery. Yet our eyes met, and in that instant the world tilted on its axis. It was a connection I couldn't explain, a pull so strong it defied logic. I knew deep down that my life was about to change forever. That night I saw him across the dance floor. The music pulsed, bodies swayed, but my gaze was locked on him. He moved with a natural grace, a rhythm that seemed to resonate with the very beat of my heart. He caught my eye again, a flicker of recognition in his smile, and I felt my breath catch in my throat. He started to make his way towards me, and the world seemed to slow down, every second stretching into an eternity. My palms were sweating, my heart was pounding, and I could feel the blood rushing to my face. He stopped in front of me, his eyes searching mine, and for a moment neither of us spoke. The air between us thrummed with unspoken words, a silent conversation that transcended language. Then he smiled, a slow, captivating smile that lit up his entire face, and he extended his hand. "I'm Alex," he said, his voice warm and inviting. I took his hand, my fingers trembling slightly, and whispered my own name. And just like that, the journey began. A journey filled with stolen glances, whispered secrets, and a connection that defied the boundaries of our world. A journey that would ultimately lead me to a place I never expected. A place where desire and fear intertwined, where love and loss danced a delicate ballet. A place where, in the heat of a summer night, his touch ignited a fire within me, a fire that would consume me body and soul. The days that followed were a blur of shared laughter, whispered conversations, and stolen moments. Alex and I became inseparable, drawn together by an invisible force. We explored the city together, discovering hidden cafes and quiet parks, sharing our dreams and fears under the vast expanse of the night sky. He told me stories of his life, his passions, his hopes for the future, and I listened, captivated by his every word. He had a way of making me feel seen, truly seen, for the first time in my life. He saw past the quiet exterior, the reserved demeanor, and recognized the fire that burned within me. He encouraged me to step out of my comfort zone, to embrace the world with open arms, to be myself unapologetically. And with him by my side, I felt brave, I felt strong, I felt alive. We spent hours talking, debating, laughing, and simply being in each other's presence. There was an unspoken understanding between us, a connection that transcended words. We understood each other in a way that no one else ever had. It was as if we had known each other for a lifetime, as if our souls were intertwined from the very beginning of time. I found myself drawn to him in a way I had never experienced before. It wasn't just physical attraction, although there was plenty of that. It was something deeper, something more profound. It was a connection of minds, of hearts, of souls. I felt a sense of belonging when I was with him, a sense of coming home. He made me feel safe, he made me feel loved, he made me feel like I could be myself, completely and utterly myself, without fear of judgment. And that, I realized, was the most precious gift anyone could ever give me. One sweltering afternoon, we found ourselves in a secluded park, a hidden oasis of green in the heart of the bustling city. We sat beneath the shade of a giant oak tree, the leaves rustling gently in the breeze. The air was thick with the scent of summer blossoms, and the sun dappled through the leaves, creating a mosaic of light and shadow on the ground. We talked for hours, sharing our deepest secrets, our most private thoughts. And as the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the grass, a silence fell between us. It wasn't an awkward silence, but a comfortable silence, a silence filled with unspoken emotions. I looked at him and he looked at me, and in that moment I knew. I knew that I was falling in love with him, falling hard, falling fast, falling completely and utterly in love. And I knew with a certainty that defied all logic that he felt the same way about me. The air crackled with unspoken desire, a tension so thick it could be cut with a knife. And then he reached out and took my hand. His touch sent a jolt of electricity through my body, a spark that ignited a fire within me. His fingers intertwined with mine, and I felt a sense of completeness, a sense of belonging, a sense of coming home. We sat there hand in hand for what seemed like an eternity, lost in the magic of the moment. The world around us faded away, and it was just the two of us, alone in our own little universe. And in that moment, I knew that my life would never be the same again. The unspoken tension that had simmered between us finally broke, like a dam bursting under the weight of a flood. It wasn't a dramatic explosion, but a quiet, almost gentle release, a sigh of recognition. He turned to me, his eyes filled with a tenderness that made my heart ache. He cupped my face in his hands, his touch sending shivers down my spine. His thumbs brushed lightly against my cheeks, and I closed my eyes, savoring the feeling of his skin against mine. He leaned in, his breath warm against my ear, and whispered my name. It was a simple word, yet it carried the weight of 1,000 unspoken emotions. My heart pounded in my chest, and I could feel my breath catching in my throat. I opened my eyes, and his gaze locked with mine. The world around us seemed to fade away, and it was just the two of us, alone in our own little bubble. He leaned closer, his lips brushing against mine, a feather-light touch that sent a jolt of electricity through my body. It was a kiss that spoke volumes, a kiss that conveyed all the unspoken emotions that had been building up between us. It was a kiss that sealed our fate, a kiss that marked the beginning of our journey together. We pulled away slightly, our foreheads touching, our breaths mingling. I opened my eyes, and his gaze was filled with a love that took my breath away. He smiled, a slow, captivating smile that made my heart melt. "I've wanted to do that for a long time," he said, his voice husky with emotion. I smiled back, my own heart overflowing with happiness. "Me too," I whispered. We sat there for a long moment, lost in each other's eyes, the silence between us filled with a comfortable intimacy. The sun had almost completely set, casting long shadows across the park. The air was cool and crisp, and the scent of summer blossoms hung heavy in the air. It was a perfect moment, a moment that I knew I would cherish forever. He took my hand again, his fingers intertwining with mine. "Let's go," he said, his voice filled with a sense of anticipation. I squeezed his hand, and we stood up, brushing the dirt off our clothes. We walked hand in hand through the park, the silence between us comfortable and warm. We didn't talk much, but we didn't need to. We understood each other, we felt each other, we knew that we were connected in a way that transcended words. As we walked, I couldn't help but think about the future. I thought about all the possibilities, all the adventures that awaited us. I thought about the challenges we would face, the obstacles we would overcome. And I knew with a certainty that defied all logic that we would face them together because we had each other. And that, I realized, was all that mattered. We reached the edge of the park and stepped out onto the sidewalk. The city lights twinkled in the distance, a beacon of hope in the darkness. We looked at each other, and a smile passed between us. We knew that our journey had just begun. We knew that there would be challenges, there would be obstacles, there would be moments of doubt and fear. But we also knew that we had each other, and that, we realized, was enough. We turned and walked away hand in hand into the night, ready to face whatever the future held together. The city lights blurred as we walked hand in hand through the warm summer night. The air hummed with the energy of the city, a vibrant pulse that seemed to mirror the excitement bubbling inside me. We didn't have a specific destination in mind, just a shared desire to be together, to explore the world hand in hand. We wandered through the labyrinthine streets, past bustling bars and quiet cafes, our footsteps echoing softly in the stillness of the night. He told me stories of his childhood, his dreams, his aspirations, and I listened, captivated by his every word. He spoke with a passion that ignited a fire within me, a desire to chase my own dreams, to live my life to the fullest. He had a way of making me feel like anything was possible, like the world was full of endless opportunities. And with him by my side, I believed him. We stopped at a small, unassuming cafe tucked away in a quiet corner of the city. The aroma of freshly brewed coffee wafted through the air, mingling with the sweet scent of pastries. We sat at a small table by the window, watching the world go by. We talked for hours, sharing our thoughts, our feelings, our hopes for the future. He told me about his family, his friends, his life before me, and I told him about mine, my insecurities, my fears, my dreams. He listened patiently, his eyes filled with understanding and compassion. He didn't judge me, he didn't criticize me, he simply listened. And in that moment, I felt truly seen, truly heard, truly understood. He reached across the table and took my hand, his touch sending a jolt of electricity through my body. "Thank you," he said, his voice soft and sincere. "Thank you for sharing your life with me." I smiled, my heart overflowing with love. "Thank you for listening," I replied. We sat there for a long moment, hand in hand, lost in each other's eyes. The cafe was quiet, the only sound the gentle hum of conversation from the other tables. The world around us seemed to fade away, and it was just the two of us, alone in our own little universe. He leaned closer, his lips brushing against my ear. "I'm falling for you," he whispered, his voice husky with emotion. My heart skipped a beat and I felt my breath catch in my throat. I looked at him, my eyes filled with a love that I could no longer deny. "I'm falling for you too," I whispered back. He smiled, a slow, captivating smile that made my heart melt. He leaned in and kissed me, a soft, tender kiss that spoke volumes. It was a kiss that sealed our fate, a kiss that marked the beginning of our journey together. We pulled away slightly, our foreheads touching, our breaths mingling. "What happens now?" I asked, my voice filled with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. He smiled, his eyes filled with a love that took my breath away. "We'll figure it out," he said, his voice confident and reassuring. "Together." We sat there for a long moment, hand in hand, lost in each other's eyes. The future stretched before us, a vast and unknown landscape. But with him by my side, I knew that I could face anything. Because we had each other. And that, I realized, was all that mattered. We left the cafe, hand in hand, ready to face whatever the future held together. The night was still young, and the city lights twinkled in the distance, beckoning us to explore. We walked on, our footsteps echoing softly in the stillness of the night, our hearts filled with hope and love. The initial euphoria of our newfound love settled into a comfortable rhythm, a gentle ebb and flow of shared moments and quiet understandings. We navigated the complexities of our lives, weaving our individual threads into a shared tapestry. There were late-night phone calls whispering secrets into the darkness, stolen kisses in crowded rooms, and whispered promises under the vast expanse of the night sky. We explored the city together, discovering hidden gems and quiet corners, creating memories that would forever be etched into the fabric of our lives. We went to art galleries and debated the merits of modern art. We saw foreign films and discussed the nuances of the director's vision. And we spent countless hours simply talking, sharing our thoughts, our dreams, our fears. He introduced me to his friends, a vibrant group of individuals who welcomed me with open arms. They were artists, musicians, writers, and activists, a diverse and passionate community that embraced individuality and celebrated creativity. I felt like I had finally found my tribe, a place where I belonged, a place where I could be myself without fear of judgment. He also met my family, a more traditional and reserved group who, while initially hesitant, eventually warmed to his charm and genuine kindness. There were awkward Sunday dinners and stilted conversations, but beneath the surface I could sense a growing acceptance, a quiet acknowledgement of the love that bloomed between us. Life wasn't always perfect, of course. There were disagreements, misunderstandings, and moments of doubt. We argued about trivial things like what to have for dinner or which movie to see, and we clashed over more significant issues like our differing opinions on politics or our conflicting visions for the future. But even in our disagreements, there was a sense of respect, a willingness to listen to each other's point of view, a desire to understand the other's perspective. And at the end of every argument, we always found our way back to each other, our love a beacon in the storm. One rainy afternoon, we found ourselves trapped inside, the city outside shrouded in a misty gray. We decided to have a movie marathon, curling up on the sofa with blankets and popcorn. As the rain patted against the window panes, we watched classic films, laughing at the cheesy dialogue and shedding a few tears at the poignant moments. He put his arm around me, pulling me closer, and I snuggled into his embrace, feeling safe and warm. We didn't talk much, but we didn't need to. We were content to simply be in each other's presence, the silence between us filled with a comfortable intimacy. As the day turned into evening, the rain finally subsided and the sun peeked through the clouds, casting a golden glow across the city. We decided to take a walk, venturing out into the fresh, clean air. The city seemed to have been washed clean by the rain, the streets sparkling and glistening under the setting sun. We walked hand in hand, our footsteps echoing softly in the stillness of the evening. We stopped at a small park, a hidden oasis of green in the heart of the city. We sat on a bench, watching the sun slowly sink below the horizon, painting the sky with hues of orange, pink, and purple. The air was cool and crisp, and the scent of rain lingered in the air. It was a perfect moment, a moment that I knew I would cherish forever. He turned to me, his eyes filled with a love that took my breath away. "I love you," he said, his voice soft and sincere. "I love you more than words can say." I smiled, my heart overflowing with love. "I love you too," I whispered back. We leaned in and kissed, a long, passionate kiss that sealed our love. The world around us seemed to fade away, and it was just the two of us, alone in our own little universe. In that moment, I knew that I had found my soulmate, my partner in life, my best friend. I knew that I had found the love that I had been searching for my entire life. And I knew that our journey together had just begun. The rhythm of our lives settled into a comfortable cadence, a harmonious blend of shared experiences and individual pursuits. We built a life together, a foundation of love, respect, and mutual understanding. We celebrated milestones, both big and small, from birthdays and anniversaries to quiet evenings spent at home, cooking dinner together and watching old movies. We supported each other's dreams, encouraging each other to pursue our passions, offering a shoulder to lean on during times of doubt and a hand to hold during moments of triumph. He continued to inspire me with his passion for life, his unwavering belief in the power of love and compassion. He challenged me to be a better version of myself, to step outside my comfort zone, to embrace the world with open arms. And I in turn tried to be the best partner I could be, offering him the same unwavering love and support that he so freely gave to me. We faced challenges together, navigating the ups and downs of life with grace and resilience. There were moments of uncertainty, times when we questioned our path, moments when the weight of the world seemed too heavy to bear. But through it all, our love remained a constant, a beacon of hope in the darkness. We learned to communicate openly and honestly, sharing our fears, our insecurities, our hopes for the future. We learned to compromise, to find common ground, to respect each other's differences. And most importantly, we learned to forgive, to let go of resentment and anger, to embrace the power of love and compassion. Our relationship wasn't perfect, of course. There were times when we hurt each other, moments when we said things we regretted, instances when our insecurities got the better of us. But we always found our way back to each other, our love a stronger force than any temporary setback. We learned from our mistakes, we grew together, we evolved as individuals and as a couple. One crisp autumn day, we decided to take a trip to the countryside, a weekend getaway to escape the hustle and bustle of the city. We rented a small cottage nestled in the heart of a sprawling forest, a secluded haven of peace and tranquility. The air was crisp and clean, the leaves were ablaze with color, and the silence was broken only by the chirping of birds and the rustling of leaves. We spent our days hiking through the forest, exploring hidden trails and discovering breathtaking vistas. We cooked meals together in the cozy kitchen, sharing stories and laughter over candlelight dinners. We spent our evenings curled up by the fireplace, reading books, listening to music, and simply enjoying each other's company. One night, as we sat by the fire, the flames dancing and flickering in the hearth, he turned to me, his eyes filled with a love that took my breath away. "I can't imagine my life without you," he said, his voice soft and sincere. "You're my best friend, my lover, my soulmate." I smiled, my heart overflowing with love. "I can't imagine my life without you either," I replied. "You're my everything." He took my hand, his fingers intertwining with mine. "I want to spend the rest of my life with you," he said, his voice filled with emotion. "Will you marry me?" I gasped, tears welling up in my eyes. "Yes," I whispered, my voice choked with emotion. "Yes, 1,000 times yes." He smiled, a slow, captivating smile that made my heart melt. He pulled a ring from his pocket, a simple yet elegant band made of silver and inlaid with a small, delicate stone. He slipped it onto my finger and it fit perfectly. We embraced, our tears mingling, our hearts overflowing with love and happiness. In that moment, I knew that I had found my forever, my happily ever after. And I knew that our journey together had just begun. The engagement period was a whirlwind of excitement, anticipation, and meticulous planning. We immersed ourselves in the details, from choosing a venue and designing invitations to selecting a caterer and finding the perfect music. We debated the merits of a large, traditional wedding versus a small, intimate gathering, ultimately deciding on a celebration that reflected our personalities and values. We wanted a wedding that was authentic, personal, and meaningful, a celebration of our love that would be shared with our closest friends and family. We spent countless hours poring over wedding magazines, browsing online marketplaces, and meeting with vendors, trying to bring our vision to life. There were moments of stress, of course, times when the sheer volume of decisions became overwhelming, instances when we clashed over minor details. But through it all, our love remained the central focus, the guiding force that kept us grounded and connected. We reminded ourselves why we were doing this, why we were putting so much effort into planning this one special day. It wasn't just about the flowers or the cake or the dress. It was about celebrating our love, our commitment to each other, our promise to spend the rest of our lives together. We wanted our wedding to be a reflection of our journey, a testament to the love that had brought us together and sustained us through thick and thin. We incorporated elements that were meaningful to us, from the readings we chose for the ceremony to the music we selected for the reception. We wanted our guests to feel like they were a part of our story, to share in our joy and celebrate our love. As the wedding day approached, the excitement grew, building to a crescendo of anticipation. We spent the final days finalizing the arrangements, confirming details, and making sure everything was perfect. There were last-minute panics, unexpected hiccups, and moments of sheer chaos, but we handled it all with a mixture of humor and grace. We knew that no matter what happened, at the end of the day, we would be married, and that was all that mattered. The morning of the wedding arrived bright and sunny, a perfect day for a celebration of love. The atmosphere was electric, buzzing with excitement and anticipation. We spent the morning getting ready, surrounded by our closest friends and family. There were moments of laughter, moments of tears, and moments of quiet reflection. As I looked in the mirror, dressed in my wedding attire, I couldn't help but feel a sense of overwhelming joy. I was about to marry the love of my life, the man who had stolen my heart and filled my life with love and happiness. He was waiting for me at the altar, his eyes filled with a love that took my breath away. As I walked down the aisle, my heart pounded in my chest, and I felt a sense of overwhelming gratitude. I was so lucky to have found him, to have found a love that was so pure, so true, so everlasting. The ceremony was beautiful, a celebration of our love that was both intimate and moving. We exchanged vows, promising to love and cherish each other for all the days of our lives. We exchanged rings, symbols of our eternal commitment, and then we were pronounced husband and husband. The reception was a joyous celebration, a party filled with love, laughter, and dancing. We were surrounded by our closest friends and family, all sharing in our happiness. We danced the night away, lost in each other's arms, our hearts overflowing with love. It was the perfect day, a day that I knew I would cherish forever. As the night came to an end, we said goodbye to our guests and slipped away hand in hand, ready to begin our new life together. We were married, finally and officially, and our journey had just begun. The years that followed our wedding were a tapestry woven with threads of joy, sorrow, love, loss, and everything in between. Life, as it always does, presented us with its share of challenges, moments of uncertainty, and times when our strength was tested. We faced these trials together, hand in hand, our love a constant anchor in the turbulent seas of life. We learned to navigate the complexities of marriage, the delicate balance between individuality and togetherness. We discovered the true meaning of commitment, the unwavering dedication to supporting each other through thick and thin, through sickness and health, through joy and sorrow. We celebrated our successes, both big and small, from career advancements and personal achievements to quiet moments of shared laughter and simple acts of kindness. We mourned our losses, offering each other comfort and support during times of grief and heartache. We learned to forgive, to let go of resentment and anger, to embrace the power of compassion and understanding. Our love evolved over time, deepening and maturing, becoming a source of strength, comfort, and unwavering support. It wasn't always fireworks and grand gestures. Often, it was the quiet moments of connection that meant the most: a shared glance across a crowded room, a gentle touch on the arm, a whispered word of encouragement. We built a home together, a sanctuary filled with love, laughter, and cherished memories. We created traditions, rituals that bound us together, from Sunday morning breakfasts in bed to annual trips to our favorite vacation spot. We learned to appreciate the simple things in life: the beauty of a sunset, the warmth of a fire, the joy of a shared meal. We grew as individuals, pursuing our own passions, nurturing our own dreams, while always remaining connected, our lives intertwined. We faced the challenges of aging, supporting each other through health scares and physical limitations. We learned to appreciate the fragility of life, the preciousness of each moment. And we learned to cherish the time we had together, making the most of every day. We watched our friends and family grow and change, celebrating their milestones, offering support during difficult times. We became pillars of our community, volunteering our time and resources to causes we believed in. We made a difference in the world, not through grand acts of heroism, but through small acts of kindness, compassion, and love. As the years passed, our hair turned gray, our bodies grew weary, but our love remained strong, a beacon of light in the twilight years of our lives. We held each other's hands, our fingers intertwined, our hearts connected, our souls intertwined. We looked back on our lives with gratitude, appreciating the journey we had taken together, the love that had sustained us through it all. We knew that our time together was limited, but we didn't dwell on the inevitable. We focused on the present, cherishing each moment, making the most of every day. We knew that our love would endure even beyond the boundaries of time and space. It was a love that was meant to be, a love that was eternal. And as we faced the final chapter of our lives, we did so together, hand in hand, heart to heart, our love a testament to the power of enduring love. Our story, like all stories, had a beginning, a middle, and an end. But the love that bound us together, that love would live on, forever etched into the fabric of time. And that we knew was the greatest legacy of all. Wow, just like life, our stories take unexpected turns, don't they? If you're craving more tales that explore the complexities of relationships, the drama of everyday life, and those moments that truly hook you in, then you're in the right place. Subscribe now and never miss a new video. We are creating stories that resonate, that stir emotions, and that keep you wanting more. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed the ride, and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, keep those hearts open and those minds curious.